I work for Cornell Cooperative Extension in the Agricultural Stewardship Program, and we're here today to do a little bit of fertilizer calibration with a corn planter. The main reason that you're going to calibrate your equipment is to ensure that you're putting on the proper amount of nitrogen. It's very important to know, and also to check, make sure that you have wear and tear on your equipment that happens seasonally. So it's important to calibrate every time you change products and or before you go to plant anytime, any season. So today we've raised up the equipment hydraulically, and we're going to catch the amount that comes out over a given distance. I'm going to do a simple little mathematical equation in order to do that, and set up some stuff here to catch the fertilizer. And from that, we'll be able to determine the rate per acre of nitrogen within a very accurate range. Then it's also checked by the growers after they've done planting to ensure that what we've calibrated here was what actually went applied in the field. So I'm going to set up here, make sure we don't drop any fertilizer. I have some tarps to lay out. And all I'm doing now is just marking a spot on the tire so I can count the number of revolutions when I spin it. You try to take a piece of duct tape, works really well. Line it up so that it's even with this so you can count it every time. This is the fertilizer hopper. When a grower fills up, he'll fill up his hopper. The fertilizer gets driven through here. There's an auger in the middle. When the auger spins, it distributes the fertilizer down through the tubes into these discs, and then it puts it down into the ground about 2 inches to the side and 2 inches below the seed piece. When he's planting, he's applying the seed and the fertilizer all at one time. There's two main things that we have to know in order to calibrate. That is the grower's row spacing. So the spacing of the rows on center. This grower is spaced at 34 inches. Next thing we do is measure the drive wheel. So just take a tape, get it centered on the wheel. It's important to be centered. And then you can change the gears back and forth according to the manual. That'll get you close within the range of the product. Each product is different. They have different bulk densities, which means they have a different amount of volume per weight. So it's important every time you do a different product to recalibrate. All we have to do, since we've already done the math, is turn this wheel 10 times, take the amount collected, and we're doing 2 rows right now. So each row we're going to treat separately. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now you can see we've captured the fertilizer. This particular planter puts fertilizer on each side of the row. So we know that both of these chutes treats 1 row, so we're going to add that together. Machines will vary from side to side, sometimes within 3 to 5%. That's okay. It's not going to matter. You're going to take the average of both sides and get you your per acre. When you put a container on here, just an empty container, make sure you tear the scale. Otherwise, it's going to affect your rate. To tear the scale, you just simply hit the tear button, and it'll zero out the scale. Now this is what we captured from 1 row. So just note which side it is. It's the right side. We got 2.33 pounds of product. So we're getting 2.33 pounds in 191 square feet of coverage. We'll go check the other side. So this side is putting out 1.93. That's why I'm going to do it twice. There may be an issue with the tube. It might just be that one side puts out more than the other, which you do see from time to time, but just doing it twice helps ensure what the actual cause is. Okay, so what we've done here today is we've made sure we know the grower's row spacing and the diameter of the wheel. By those 2 numbers, we're able to come up with a mathematical calculation so we know how many square feet we're treating, spin the wheel 10 times, capture the amount, weigh it, and then by doing the math, we can figure out how much product we're putting on per acre. Then we change pounds product to pounds nitrogen. After all said and done, we found out that this grower is applying a little bit more than 40 pounds of nitrogen per acre at planting. Now typically, sweet corn growers, in an effort to reduce nitrogen leaching and to help the environment as well as save money, they've done what's called a side dressing, which is a split application. So in other words, the grower will put a small amount on at planting, like this grower is doing, slightly over 40 pounds, and then he will come back at a stage probably around 10 to 12 inch height of the corn growth, and that's when he'll add the additional fertilizer. This grower is going to add, another, let's say about 60 to 80 pounds, and that'll put him right in that recommends of 120 pounds, which is usually what Cornell recommends for sweet corn crop on Long Island.